Martin and his wife are the parents of 2 children, a 6-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son. Martin shared with me something disturbing that he and his wife had discovered recently. Their daughter, who I'll refer to as Jess, loves to draw, and so they'd give her all the art supplies she'd need to keep her quiet and entertained. For hours, they have an entire Crayola backpack, full of art supplies that Jess uses, filled with markers, colored pencils, crowns, and construction paper. Jess has piles of drawings in her room and even in her backpack, and most of them are normal, innocent drawings. However, one day, Martin found a picture in Jess's room that he was kind of confused about at first. It was a picture of some random-looking woman holding Jess's hand. But it didn't look like Martin's wife was blonde. It was a brunette woman. Martin asked Jess who the woman was, and she said it was the woman who would visit her. Sometimes sounds like something a 6-year-old with an imaginary friend would say when Martin asked what her friend's name was. Jess said Lucia. This was immediately cause for alarm to Martin, so he went to show his wife the picture and asked his wife if it looked like her sister. At first, his wife said it looks like it could be anybody, but when Martin said her daughter said her name was Lucia, she gave Martin this telling look, as if she immediately understood Lucia was the name of Martin's wife's deceased sister, who died before either of the couple's children were born. The couple went to the daughter's room and asked Jess who exactly. Lucia was Jess again, said she visits me sometimes. Trying to get more details, the couple asked what time she usually visits and what do they talk about. She responded something along the lines of, she visits at night sometimes. When I'm drawing, Martin's wife asked Jess to draw another picture of her the next time she sees Lucia, this time with more details, and Jess agreed to do so from now on. Martin and his wife would keep Jess's door ajar just so they could hear if Jess was talking to someone. It wasn't until a few nights later that, while in the kitchen, the couple both heard Jess talking to someone in her room all of a sudden. So the two went towards the room quietly to listen to what she was saying. There were long gaps in between what Jess was saying, but she was clearly talking to someone or something that didn't appear to be there, because she seemed to be answering questions that the parents couldn't hear being asked. At one point, Jess said they asked about you when they saw my picture of you. They want me to draw you again. Then just stopped talking completely, and that was when Martin and his wife entered the room and asked if she were talking to Lucia again. She nodded her head, and they asked where in the room. Lucia was just turned and looked around the room, then focused on the corner and said, "She's standing right there." Martin and his wife looked in the corner of the room to nothing. Yet both of them agreed. They felt an uneasy feeling in the room and were extremely uncomfortable. Martin's wife said softly to Jess to draw what Lucia looks like right now, down to every last detail. And after Jess said, "Okay, Mom," the couple left the room, just didn't speak anymore, and the parents were left feeling a little uneasy. It was a short time later that Jess called her mom back into the room, and so both Martin and his wife went back to her room, and she presented a new picture. This picture confirmed the couple's fear. This was the photo in this new photo with a lot more detail. Jess drew Lucia to have blue eyes, a small mole above her lip, and dressed in white. Lucia was buried in white and had blue eyes and a small mole above her lip. Martin's wife was never close with her sister, having only attended the funeral for a short time, and so Jess had never learned of her deceased aunt. Yet there were also no pictures around the house that she could have seen. Martin and his wife told Jess that they didn't want her talking to Lucia anymore. This was not because Lucia did anything particularly horrible in her life per se, rather that it was genuinely scaring the couple had a priest. Come bless the house and ask any spirits to please leave in peace. According to Martin, they haven't had to deal with any further instances. This was submitted by an art teacher from an elementary school twice a year. With each class, the teacher would hold what she called draw and tell which would have the children draw anything that meant something to them, and then tell the story behind it. This was with a 3rd grade class, as most students were drawing pictures of them and their families, or pictures with their pets, or any other number of things. One boy was drawing what looked like nothing but fire. The other kids at his table were noticeably glancing over and laughing at him as he did it, and as the art teacher noticed this, she went over to the boy and asked him why he was drawing fire. He's supposed to be drawing something that means something to him. The boy said, "I know I'm not finished yet." So the teacher let the boy continue to do his thing. As the students were finishing up their drawings, the teacher came back to the boy and now noticed that the boy had added a house to the drawing. The teacher asked the boy to come with him to the hall, and she took the drawing with them. When in the hall, the teacher asked the boy why he was drawing a burning house, as this was completely inappropriate for a draw, until the boy replied, "No, it's not. This is the house my parents tried to burn down with me in it." The teacher was speechless and didn't know what to say. She kept the drawing and told him to take his seat and told him we're not going to do the draw. Until when they re-entered the classroom, she sat at her desk for a moment, fighting back tears, and eventually announced to the class that everyone would be taking their drawings home with them. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe for more weekly horror. On screen now is the most recent upload and the most viewed story on the channel. Pick your next one carefully, and remember, some stories are better not listened to alone.